Hello students, once again welcome back to Misostudy video classes. As you know, we already started the discussion of questions in the format of these PPTs for various chapters which we already completed, fine, and it is just a third chapter of this entire explanation. So I hope still I have to devote some time to tell you how exactly you should attempt your questions, fine. In one of my videos I explain you read instructions carefully, marks, and according to the marks you have to provide the answer. So today I will not elaborate that much because I hope you are watching and revising our videos regularly, fine. But today's lecture I will start with one line caution notice, that is, don't cross word limit. That is, if for 1 mark questions you are supposed to write down 2 words or 1 words, just strictly follow that guideline, fine. And there are various profitable aspects associated with that. You can save your precious time, you can save your energy to apply it on difficult questions. So here comes this today's second episode of this serial, that is CBSE pattern question exercise, and today's story is motion in a plane. So here is the first character, that is 1 mark question. Only 1 sentence you have to write down, 1 word you have to write down, not sentence. Is the rocket in flight is an illustration of projectile motion? Is the rocket in flight is an illustration of projectile motion? No, obviously. Why? For projectile motion, now why? This why is for you, it is not for examination hall. You should know it, only then you can say no. For projectile motions, utmost important part is what? 2 components of velocity. 2 components. 2 components of velocity required, fine. Over here only 1 velocity component, number 1. Number 2, rocket is going great heights, so that is also not applicable, because for great heights acceleration due to gravity g will start changing, that is not acceptable. So it is no, it is not illustration of projectile motion. Why does a projectile fired along the horizontal not follows a straight line path? Now if you have to answer this question in examination hall, you have to simply mention this simple word, that is, why does a projectile fired along the horizontal not follows a straight line path? Your answer should be like this: due to g. That's it. That's it. It is more than enough. You are supposed to answer in 1 word. And this is so small, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters, fine. Now the question comes in mind, why exactly so, fine, why it is not following a straight line path. So now I will tell you why exactly so. Let's say I am standing on the top of Qutub Minar, fine. I am putting the example of Qutub Minar repeatedly because this is something which you cannot visualize. Now I am standing on the top of the Qutub Minar, although which is not allowed by our Archaeological Surveyor of India. So here if I am standing, okay, and I am throwing a ball in this direction with velocity v, fine. So initial velocity is horizontal, which I imparted, but everywhere, here, everywhere acceleration due to gravity g is acting. So what will happen? Moment I will release the ball from my hands, it not only moves along x-axis, but it also starts falling down because of the g. Because this ball has some mass that will act on it, it will try to pull the ball towards the center of the earth, fine. So because of this reason, at any point, let's say for example here you have 2 velocities. One is Vx, another is Vy. So because of acceleration due to gravity g, it is not a straight line path horizontally, but vertically it will be a straight line path just because of the presence of this acceleration due to gravity. Fine. Now then comes the question number 3. This is your question number 3. Once again, very important. Moment you will read the number of marks associated with the question, immediately you should define the boundary, that where I'll have to hit the 6, what exactly my boundary line, so that no one can catch my ball. Okay. Now consider the situation. What are the assumptions made in the study of projectile motion? Fine. So in short, in simple words, what I can say, because it is of 2 mark question, so at least 1.5 line or 2 lines, 2 small lines are required. It is not 1 mark question, it is 2 marks question. So at least you have to explain that particular concept. What are the assumptions made in the study of a projectile motion? I very specifically mention these assumptions in my videos. Once again I am repeating. Number 1, no friction etc. Number 2, projectile not going very high. Fine. So basically this way you can define the projectile motion. If I am throwing any object like upward or downward, there is no 2 velocity components. Fine. So these 2 assumptions, that as such no frictional force is present. Let us say for example I am playing badminton or tennis and intense wind is blowing. So what will happen? Moment I will do the service of the shuttle or I will hit the ball for the tennis, so the air will either oppose or change the direction of motion, or it will support its motion, but it is not ultimately mine effort, it is some added efforts from the air present outside. Fine. So these 2 are simple assumptions which you should mention. So this question was for 2 marks, that is why at least 1.5 line answer is required. Now here comes this question, that is, a stone is thrown vertically upward and then it returns to the lower thrower. Fine. Is it a projectile? Explain. Once again, a stone is thrown vertically upward, like this is a chalk, like this. A stone is thrown vertically upwards and then it returns to the thrower. Now take a look. Comes to me. Is it a projectile motion? Explain. Answer is no, it is not a projectile motion. Why? Because it is 2 marks, so at least you have to write down 1.5 line. First you will write down no. Is it a projectile? Answer is no. Then explain means you can write down 2 lines. What are those lines? Once again watch this experiment and then it is coming to my hands. So first point is because velocity has only one component in this situation. No x, no y components. Y minus y, y minus y, y minus y. Only one component of velocity. For projectile it should be 2, like this, up and then down. So here the solution is in this manner. That is, first answer is it a projectile? No. Second answer is what? That is, as velocity is in one dimension. Because of this reason only. Fine. Then students, it comes question number 5. That is 3 marks. So, moment you will read this line, you will say, okay, 3 marks for this question means I have to write down few lines, I have to draw some diagram if they are in that particular topic and so on. Fine. Show that there are two angles of projection for which the horizontal range is same. Fine. Let us start this particular question. R is equal to Vx upon T. That is the formula used. Ultimately, after solving it, you will get let me know you how you can put the values also. That is Vx means V cos theta. Try to recall the projectile motion. And T is what? Total time of flight. That is twice u sin theta by g. Twice u sin theta by g. That is g. Fine. So, if you consider this entire segment, then you will write it down as that is R is equal to u square sin 2 theta by g. So, for two angles, one is 90, another is 90 minus theta. One is theta means another is 90 minus theta. So, for these two angles, the value of sine function will be maximum. Fine. So, which of the horizontal ranges for which the horizontal range is same? So, horizontal range will be same. Horizontal range RAN range will be same for horizontal range will be same for angle theta and 90 minus theta. Fine. This is the answer of this particular question. If wish, you can draw a diagram also because it is in 3 marks category. Fine. So, how you can draw the diagram? You can draw the diagram by simply y axis, x axis, and then you can complete this great circle. So, it was question number 5, which is for 3 marks. Now, important students is not only how much you know, but it is also important how exactly you can reproduce it on your answer sheet. Question number 6, marks instruction as previous one. Explain angular acceleration, establish its relation with linear acceleration. Okay. Now, if you try to recall, I started my discussion with of rotational motion. Fine. So, explain angular acceleration. What is the meaning of omega angular acceleration? It is w. Establish its relation with linear acceleration. Okay. So, how you can define it? Obviously, mine video classes are not so long that I can elaborate and explain each and everything, but just for the sake of simplicity I am telling you. Angular acceleration means motion is somehow circular. Fine. So, if the motion is somehow circular, then only you can calculate it. So, angular acceleration represented by alpha. Represent alpha angular acceleration. Yes. So r omega, where omega is this much, fine, where omega t, this omega is equal to t upon 2 pi, sorry, omega is equal to 2 pi upon t, sorry, time period. So you can use this relation. Now here the main idea is, in circular motion, in planar motion, there are certain simple concepts which you will have to always follow, fine. So over here same is the situation, explain angular acceleration. So angular acceleration you should start like this. The ceiling fan which I will start rotating gradually, slow, and then it will start enhancing its velocity of rotation like this. So initially this angular acceleration will increase and then finally what will happen, it will stable. So angular acceleration is simple in simple terms it is associated with angular, the simple terms it is associated with circular motion. I just want to make it so short that I am getting confused again and again. I don't want to give you even any single term which is not required, which is not, you can say, applicable, fine. Then comes question number 7, and this question is in 4 marks, fine, 4 marks, and it's a type of numerical problem. So in 4 marks, the first thing what you will have to do, you have to write down each and every step given, and then you should write down which one has larger values or greater values, fine. So with this I would like to mention how should I start it. I should start it like this way. Angular velocity of earth around its own axis. Now students, t is equal to 2 pi upon omega. I am sure you all are aware with this simple formula. Now the angular velocity of the r and of watch, so TH omega h I will use for wristwatch, and TEH then this W earth, fine, EH or EAR something like that you can put. So this hour hand time, hour hand angular velocity, earth rotation time, and then this omega. Now here you know TEH is nothing but 24, fine, and for this hour hand time period is 12 hours, okay. So TH is equal to 12 hours while T earth is equal to 24 hours. This is the difference, fine. Now use the formula, that is omega, this T is equal to 2 pi upon omega, which I earlier mentioned. So I will directly write down omega h upon, that is the angular velocity of this hour hour hand of the watch, fine, divided by it is WE, let us say compare earth, fine. So, WH upon this is equal to TE by EA H, fine. So, OH upon omega H upon omega E is equal to tau E upon tau this H value, fine. Now, over here I will say that this particular question is not a difficult one, but you will have to provide the long explanation each and every formula, but in any case for 4 marks do not devote 5 to 6 minutes, fine. More than 5 to 6 minutes if you are devoting, you are going to get in big trouble. Then comes question number 8. What is centripetal acceleration? Find its magnitude and direction in case of uniform circular motion of an object. Now, here I will solve it just to give you the idea how you can explain. So, first thing you have to do, create a big circle, okay. What is the question? Centripetal acceleration, find its magnitude and direction in case of uniform circular motion. Fine. Magnitude and direction in case of uniform circular motion of the object. Now, when the uniform circular motion will act, then what will happen? mv square upon r will act outward, fine, and acceleration then this way. So, you have to balance the forces. So, centripetal acceleration, simply say if a particle is moving on a circle, smooth plane in air, then a force opposes its motion, that is defined as this particular, you can say, retardation. What is centripetal acceleration? So, by definition you can write like this: centripetal acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity and so on so forth. So, this was the basic idea, but here the marks are okay. So, be very careful with these numbers, otherwise you will be in trouble. Whenever you are solving the problem, prepare your own notes now, because if on the board, this green board, I will start explaining, then problem is when a new topic I will explain you. Fine. Now, let us move for the problem number 9. A particle is projected from the ground with an initial velocity of 20 meter per second at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal. What is the magnitude of the change in velocity in 0.05 seconds? Fine. So, which formula you are supposed to apply? You are supposed to apply a formula vector b mod of, fine, that is this gt, or I think I should better use this t, fine. Now, here put the value of g as 10 and the time period is 0.5 seconds, fine. So, this is the value of the velocity. What is the magnitude of change of velocity in 0.5 second? Fine. So, when you want to find the result, you have to apply that formula. Okay. So, this is 10 into 0.5, that will give you 5. Okay. Now, what is the magnitude of change in velocity in 0.5 seconds? So, this will, you will get the velocity and then projected from the ground with initial velocity at an angle this much. So, once you solve it, you will get the result as Now time period, fine, time period is equal to how much? So in projectile motion, now this t is going to be root 2 u by g. This formula try to fit it in that well known relation. And what is that relation? That we learned these 3-4 relations. So by putting the formula, by putting the numbers, by solving it, you will get the correct answer. And if any question you are finding yourself very, you can say, uncomfortable, don't waste lot of time over there. Fine. Actually, the diagram that is applicable in this particular question is like this. Show that maximum range of a projectile in any direction is described in the same time in which of would fall freely under gravity through this distance starting from rest. Fine. So this simple question is R max, find the maximum range. Yes, u square upon this g. Basically u square sin 2 theta upon g. In 2 theta you simply can say that this is something which we have to neglect, because in max it is coming, so there is no point of small g. Fine, there is no point of putting this. So R max is equal to v square upon g. Now from here you can calculate the value of the time period t, and then you can put the values and can get the result. Deliberately I am not solving step by step, otherwise you will find yourself in a position where you think I don't need anyhow I should solve these problems. Fine, you have to try it, read, think and try to understand. So students, it was a collection and indicative explanation. I am not claiming that I am writing down entire solution over here. I am just indicating that this is the way you should prepare. Fine, and in long run you will learn all these concepts by repeated practice. So I think we should stop over here for the time being. Very soon I will be back with some new videos, but till then keep revising, keep watching these videos. Fine, take care of yourself, have a nice time.